Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the works of the ancient historian Josephus to look at a wild moment in history when a kingdom just imploded. We're talking about a story of pure ambition, brutal power grabs, and a country literally tearing itself apart.
So let's set the scene. It is 4 BCE. The notorious king Herod the Great is dead. And after his long, iron-fisted rule, the power vacuum he leaves behind isn't just a crack in the foundation, it's a massive chasm that's about to swallow the entire region of Judea.
And Josephus puts it perfectly right here. With no clear leader, the country just collapses into chaos. And in that chaos, all these ambitious men, guys with armies, grievances, or just a whole lot of nerve, see their big chance to grab the ultimate prize. Okay, so to keep track of everyone in this total mess, let's quickly map out the main players on this chessboard, all active around 4 BCE. On one side, you've got the rebels, 3 very different guys who all decide, hey, I'm gonna be king. And on the other side, you've got the royalists, basically what's left of Herod's regime, trying desperately to hold everything together. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Who were these guys? They weren't all princes waiting in the wings. So let's take a closer look at the 3 main figures who just decided to crown themselves king right in the middle of all this anarchy. All right, first up is Judas from Galilee. And this guy has a bit of a family history. His father, Hezekiah, was a famous rebel, what Josephus calls an arch-robber, who had actually been taken down by Herod the Great himself. So for Judas, this isn't just about power. This is personal. This is payback. And a strategy? It's simple, direct, and honestly, pretty smart. He gets a big crowd together, smashes his way into the royal armory, and just starts handing out weapons. He's not building an army from scratch, he's stealing a fully equipped one. And then he immediately uses it to go after the establishment. It's a classic insurgency playbook, really. So, our next contender is from a completely different world. Simon wasn't the son of a rebel. He was actually a servant in King Herod's own court. Josephus makes it clear he had 0 royal blood, but he did have something else. He was apparently tall, handsome, and had a real presence. And he figured, you know what? That's good enough for me. So, you want to be king? Step 1, get a crown. Simon's very first move was pure political theater. He just put a diadem, a royal headband, right on his own head. It's such a simple act, but it's an unmistakable claim to the throne. Simon's short-lived reign was basically a campaign of fire. He and his followers just went on a rampage, burning down huge symbols of Herod's power, like the palace at Jericho. This wasn't just looting, this was symbolic. He was literally trying to erase the old world with flames. But here's the thing, a crown and a tall frame don't really stand up to a trained army. Simon's ambition was about to collide head-on with cold, hard military reality in the form of Gratus, a captain from the king's party. And the end was incredibly fast and brutal. Josephus gives us this really graphic, chilling detail. As Simon was trying to escape, Gratus caught up with him and just cut him down. A single blow to the neck, and the handsome servant's bid for kingship was over. But don't think the story ends there. Oh no. In fact, maybe the most formidable of these self-proclaimed kings was still to come. And he wasn't from a rebel family, he wasn't from the royal court. He was a shepherd. His name was Atherongeus, and Josephus says his claim to power was based on 2 things. He was incredibly strong, and he had a soul that despised death. Think about that. He was powerful, and he was completely fearless. That is a potent combination in a time of chaos. And get this, he wasn't a lone wolf. He had 4 brothers, all just as tough as he was. So what does he do? He turns his rebellion into a family business. He makes each brother a general, giving them their own troops to command. He built a whole command structure based on blood and loyalty. And with this family army, they became a terror across the land. And they were pretty much equal opportunity attackers. They went after everyone. They fought the Roman occupiers, they fought the local royalists, and they had no problem attacking their own countrymen if there was money to be made. But this is where he really ups the ante. His men pull off an incredibly bold ambush on a Roman cohort that was transporting supplies. They surround them, kill the centurion Arius and 40 of his best men. This wasn't just banditry anymore. This was a direct, bloody declaration of war on the Roman Empire. Yeah, you just don't kill a Roman centurion and 40 soldiers and expect to walk away from it. An attack of that scale guaranteed a massive, overwhelming response. The powers that be, both Herod's family and the Romans, were about to bring the hammer down hard. And you can see how the professionals handled it. They didn't just charge in, they were strategic. They dismantled his family network, one brother at a time. The oldest was taken down, the next two were captured, the last one was forced to surrender. They just picked his rebellion apart piece by piece until there was nothing left. Okay, so the dust settles, the rebellions are crushed, the kings of chaos are gone. What's the big takeaway from this bloody, chaotic chapter in history? So let's just recap. We had three major figures who rose up to make a play for the throne: Judas, Simon, and Athramegeus. And when all was said and done, every single one of them failed. But, and this is so important, just because they failed doesn't mean peace broke out. Far from it. Josephus tells us that their actions, even in failure, plunged the whole region into what he calls a piratic war. The chaos didn't end, it just went underground, becoming a constant state of violence and banditry.
And that's really the key here, isn't it? These uprisings weren't just a few ambitious guys trying to depower. They were a symptom of something much deeper, a widespread, powerful desire for a whole new order. A desire so strong that people were clearly willing to fight and die for it.
Remember that line about Athramegeus, a soul which despised death? Well, that feeling wasn't just in him anymore. It was everywhere. King Herod's death hadn't just created a power vacuum. It had unleashed a revolutionary energy that was just impossible to contain. And that leaves us with a final, lingering question. Sure, these men never got their crowns. But you have to wonder, in their violent failure, did they actually succeed in lighting the fuse for a much bigger explosion, the one that would eventually become the Great Jewish Revolt against Rome?